welcome back to Mexico City, everybody, for part 2 of our drivers' press conference. Left of screen, we have Kimi Antonelli. In the middle, we have Carlos Sainz, and right of screen, we have Nico Hülkenberg. Welcome to you all. Hulk, can we start with you? Can we start by celebrating Austin? It was a very strong weekend for you, even if the sprint didn't work out. Just tell us how you unleashed that performance from the car.
Well, it was just one of them scenarios and tracks, from the first lap on Friday in practice. The car just seemed to be in a happy place, and it kind of clicked. So yeah, sometimes that happens. Quite nice when it does, and very happy, obviously, and pleased that it was good and that we managed to get something out of the weekend on Sunday. Saturday was obviously a tough one, to swallow there with the chain reaction in turn 1 and that incident. But yeah, all in all, happy to have scored some points again, and we'll obviously try to have a similarly good one here. But you never know.
Well, can we talk about that? How much confidence does last weekend give you coming into this weekend? And do you think your car's going to perform well in the high altitude here?
Don't know, is the short and truth. I think obviously gives a good feeling coming, off last weekend, but that doesn't guarantee or buy you anything for free here. I think you have to just find a good rhythm again, good harmony with the car, and find the right window with tires and setup. So yeah, we'll see when we hit the track tomorrow and get the few first laps done.
And Nico, can we just throw it even further forward now and look at some of the remaining races, just the 10 points between yourselves and Aston Martin in the Constructors' Championship? How do you see that battle? Do you think you're going to have the advantage at most of the races coming up?
I don't think so. I don't think any one of us there in the midfield has really an advantage. I think we're all really close, with each other, and it really depends, on the lap and quality, on the day form, a little bit then track specific and track dependent, like it usually is. But I think it's all to play for us, but for a few other teams as well. So it's just about having clean, good weekends, maximizing the opportunity and potential.
All right. Well, look, best of luck this weekend, Nico. Thank you very much for that. Carlos and Kimi, great to have you with us. Just all good after last weekend between you?
Yeah, why?
Pregnant pause. Kimi, all good?
For me, what happens on track, it always stays on track. Then obviously, the decision that the stewards made of giving me a 5-place grid penalty for here after what happened there, I found it completely disproportionate to what the incident itself was, and exposes a bit the rules, weaknesses on the rules that we have. But it's what it is. I have to take it. I obviously assume my responsibility or my share of responsibility for the incident. I wish we could have both continued the race, but I think it's honestly, after looking at the data and all the onboards that we looked at, the fact that they still decided to give me 5th place for here is difficult to understand, difficult to accept, but whatever, I'll take it.
Kimi?
I mean, it's it was a shame because we're both in a decent position, and obviously with the contact, we basically ended both of our races. And I have a different view on the crash. Carlos has his view, but it's what it is, and now we move on.
It was a frustrating afternoon for you in the end. Just what positives do you take from the Austin weekend?
Well, I think despite being a difficult track, we got up to speed fairly quickly. Again, the Q3 was a bit disappointing because just didn't put things together. In lap 1 at DRS, with the button on the bump, kind of triggered the button, so the DRS didn't open. So there was couple of places in the grid without that. So, it was a bit disappointing, but still the race had a decent start and pace was looking okay, especially, after the contact. Those lapping free air looked very, very strong. So, there's plenty of positive. Of course, we didn't come out with the result we wanted, but we got another chance this weekend.
Kimi, you talk about the DRS problem in Q3, but can I ask you about qualifying? The performance differences between the cars is so close this year. Do you think qualifying now is more important than ever? And is there more to come from you in Q3?
Well, for sure, quali, track positioning this year has been basically everything. Also, lap one, it can really make the difference, depending where you are. If you're able to gain some places at the start, there's a very high chance that you're going to maintain them, just because, clear air is so powerful and so much easier to drive in clean air. So I think, qualifying is very important, and especially this year with the gaps being so close, it's really important not to make any mistakes, because otherwise you get very punished. And for sure, within me, there's more to come when it's about Q3. I think it's more about understanding how to put more things together, especially when we come into the final stages of qualifying. And I think if I can make that click, then it can be a different story.
Okay, good luck with that. Thank you. And Carlos, coming back to you, you've already spoken about the 5-place penalty. Just how does that change your approach to this weekend?
Probably doesn't, because I still need to qualify as far ahead as possible to mean that then I start the race with that 5-position offset as far ahead as possible and give myself the best chance to come back to the points. I don't know. I feel like we're in a great moment right now of the season where everything has finally clicked for me, and I'm quick on Saturdays, very quick on Sundays, and I just hope that I can have a clean weekend. And yeah, we managed to come back through the field in Singapore, starting 19th, so hopefully here we start a bit further up and we can still come back.
As you say, you're enjoying a hot run of form at the moment. Do you come to every race? And can we throw it forward to the last 5 races as well? Are you going to enter every race believing that you can challenge for the thick end of the points?
Track dependent, yes. I mean, Mexico is one of those that I hope we can be a bit stronger, similar to Austin maybe. Then Vegas is one of those that I'll be targeting or put in my list as the tracks that hopefully we can get good points. Already Austin, honestly, that podium felt almost like a bonus in terms of results. I really enjoyed the podium in Baku, but after that podium I said, okay, now let's just have a good run of points until the season finishes. But the podium in Austin came, and the pace in Austin was so encouraging to see that it obviously motivates me, and it obviously lifts me up to be more hopeful of the last, how many races? 5? 4? 5 left? 5.
Thank you very much for that. All right, let's open this to the floor. We will start with the broadcasters and with David Croft.
Thank you, Tom Clarkson. Kimi, David Croft, Sky Sports F1, question for you. What a rookie year. Had a bit of everything in this, including a contract for next year as well. So congratulations on that. I think you have clicked in recent races and things are definitely improving. How have you gone about addressing that kind of mid-season pattern where you weren't getting the results and bounce back? What were you working on mentally, physically, simulator, what?
I think, a lot of the approach changed. Obviously, I've had a very big and long dark time in the European season. And, I think because the result kept not coming, also frustration started to get over. And I just, started to realize that I wasn't really focusing on the, on the target, on the basic, and on the process. I was just focusing at the final result. But then as the final result was never coming, then, as I said before, frustration was starting to get over. And after Monza was a moment where also I sat with the team, and we had a big meeting, and we agreed that, something needed to change. And, my approach has been a lot different ever since. And, I'm now focusing a lot more on the task, which is driving well, putting things together. And then, I know if I do these things well, then the result will come by itself.
Thanks, Kimi. Nelson?
for Viaplay. For all three of you, given what we heard from George Russell this week about the importance of qualifying and turn one, what do you expect for this weekend? And is he right that there's maybe not enough overtaking after lap one? For all three, please.
Nico?
Yeah, I think he's got a point. It is a very track position, clean air is king. It's so powerful. Yeah, it reminds me of the past a little bit in some ways, and it's year on year from 22, 23, 24, and so on. It's gone worse and worse, and now it is very difficult. It sometimes makes obviously for static racing. So yes, quali is very important, and it is a race to turn one. Having said that, we obviously all need to survive turn one and lap one to get something, but. Yeah, that's just a side product, of these fun aero cars. But following is definitely not always fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a combination of factors. I think through the years, the cars have become, since 22, which I remember, it was really easy to follow, and you were almost in some tracks better off being behind than in front for the DRS and the DRS catch. And I remember Jeddah, Bahrain, there were a lot of on-track battles. To now that the cars have developed into being very difficult to follow. If at the same time you add the fact that the tires have become more robust, less degradation, it's more difficult to achieve any kind of tire delta that allows you to overtake. So when the two patterns go in favor of less racing and less racing action, you end up with one-stop boring races that we're tending to have more this year. As F1, I think we just need to try and be a step ahead of that and try and predict when that's going to be the case, and maybe work around with Pirelli or the teams to know what can we do to make sure that the races remain always on the limit of the one stop, to at least have some kind of tire delta, or maybe do something with the rule tweaks, maybe to extend the DRS zones a bit. But I always feel like in F1 we are chasing rather than trying to be a step ahead of what's happening on track.
Well, I don't know how I was in previous years, but definitely, as a driver, you feel massively the difference when you're driving in clean air or in dirty air. And I think, also because Pirelli has improved the tire, the tire is more robust. It allows you to do longer stints, so there's less degradation. And also with the pace of the car being so close, it's really hard to generate pace advantage. Even if you have a couple of tenths on the car in front, it's very difficult to be able to overtake. So I remember also Singapore. Charles was having some issues, and because of that big pace advantage, and still I did 40 something laps behind him. Okay, Singapore is not the easiest track to overtake, but it was really hard to follow close. So I think it's difficult, and that's why quali and lap one is super important.
Thank you, Kimi. Yep, next.
Tom Slafer, DAZN Spain. Question for Carlos. Carlos, we're coming to the end of your first season as a Williams driver. I guess the main goal starting 2025 was to adapt, which you did fairly. Side goal might be to have some good results, so you had 2 podiums. Coming now to the last 5 races of the season, what is the goal that you have in mind? Do you have something specific that you want to work on, or is it just building momentum for 2026?
I think you said it well there at the end. I think it's building momentum, and I feel that momentum has been building since the good result in Baku and things starting to click a bit more for me. Not so much from a pace point of view, that I think I've had pace the whole year, but just putting results together and making more use of those opportunities that we have in our car to sometimes do a P10, but like in Singapore, or other times we have the chance to do a top 3 or top 5 in any other race. So just keep that momentum building, because everything else is being taken care of back at pace, and trying to put together a more competitive car for next year. And spending so much time in the simulator and with everyone back at home, trying to be more competitive next year.
Thanks for that. Next,
Tim Herney, TSN. Question for all three. With Max's win at the end of the Austin Grand Prix, he's cleared away a triple-digit deficit following Zandvoort to the end of Austin. Do all three of you think that he's capable of winning this year's Drivers' Championship? Thank you.
I mean, if they're able to maintain this form, for sure. I think they've been improving the car, and obviously Max is doing the difference as well. So I think also Pro is in some ways in a better position than the other two because he's got nothing to lose, so he's going for it. But with Max in this form, I wouldn't say never. So I think he got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I agree. I think with that philosophy of nothing to lose, everything feels less pressure on your shoulders and you just go and send it. And I think he's maximizing his chances with that philosophy. I think with the tracks that are coming, especially Mexico, famous for its turn one, Vegas for overtaking, and also tricky turn one, the whole championship is opening. The only thing I would say is maybe, he cannot afford also one bad race, because then all of your good work is redone and then it's back to McLaren alone. So they just need to make sure they keep the momentum going and not let one race go bad until the end of the year. Yeah,
very similar. I think can never write him off. But obviously it depends on what McLaren do and how they perform on track. But I think it's doable, possible.
All right, thanks all. Next, Mara.
Yes, a question to Carlos. Carlos, coming year, how did you think about your last victory year, which was also Ferrari's last victory?
Well, it's difficult to say how special that win was for me. Independently of whether it's Ferrari last win or not, this is irrelevant for me, and it's circumstantial to maybe the tough year that Ferrari is having, and I'm pretty sure Ferrari will get to win anytime soon. But for me, this win, I saw it as one of my last opportunities to win a race in the near future before my switch to Williams, and the process that it would take to get back to that position, and to be able to put myself under that pressure of having to win here and deliver the weekend that I did, that did massive things for my self-confidence, my own beliefs, and my whole family was here to witness it. All my friends were here, as we all knew it was maybe my last chance, and great memories. And since then, also the Mexican fans are loving me, which is great to see. So enjoying it a lot.